What's up?
Going.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
See some
Hi.
familiar
How's it going?
faces here. Hi. Oh, this is awesome.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for coming in and taking some time out of your day to take our webinar here. I want to thank the Help Network as well for putting this on. So my goal with this workshop, first of all, my name's Kiff, VandenHeuvel. I'm a voice actor and on-camera actor here in Los Angeles, but I am also an alumni of the Second City Comedy Theater. I started at Second City in Detroit in 1998, and I've been teaching since then as well, teaching improvisation and voiceover. And a big portion of the work that I do predominantly in VO work is integrating using, improv and applying improv to VO and on-camera work. And that's really, especially in the time of COVID that we're in right now, so many of us have to do all of that work, both the on-camera and the VO, completely by ourselves. I'm with CESD, and the agency that I would go into with frequency would allow me to work with a booth director, and suddenly that option is off the table. So, so my intention with this workshop is to share with you some process that has been very helpful to me in my VO career as well as my on-camera career. And its goal too is to activate your imagination and build confidence and that kind of stuff. So it's an assortment of those kind of things. So let's dive in. I want to start off. Well, part of it too was we're going in pursuit of I want to really start off by talking about what not to live too long in this, but I want to talk about what improv is, the origin of improv. There's a book by Viola Spolin, who's considered the godmother of improvisation. And her book, Improvisation for the Theater, is kind of the guidebook for using improv. And its purpose wasn't to do like Whose Line Is It Anyway short form improv games. Like originally, the purpose behind improvisation was to create a common language between veteran stage actors and brand new people who are just coming to the stage, who've got maybe like a high school show under the belt or something like that. How do you take people who've been working for all this time and the short time and get them together and getting them to speak a common language? So she developed the improvisation exercises as a way to create a common lexicon for all these actors to use their training and use their instincts and play together to create a common bond and build from. So that's really the origin of improv. A lot of agents are saying to their people, we want you to take improv classes. We want you to learn improvisation. But that's not so that you'll come up with funny lines. I think because of improv comedy, I believe that improvisation has been hijacked by comedy. That there's this expectation that you need to be funny in your auditions if you bring improv. And certainly you can be, but it has way more to do with being alive and living truthfully in the moment and bringing that life to your reads. Going beyond the beyond where the script says to begin and end, but bringing life throughout that, adding stutters, adding thought, adding different kind of energy to your work to make it feel more alive. That's what improv really can do and can help you. And that's my intention in our work today, is to help tie that together a little bit more. Awesome. So I want to share with you, there's I want to say maybe 2 or 3 main influences that I've been really focusing on lately. One of them is a guy named Dr. Don Green. Don Green is a performance psychologist. He taught at Juilliard for many years and worked with musicians about their dealing with confidence. And I want to begin there. So just so you know, this is going to be a pretty interactive workshop, and my goal is to get you to play. So I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. Let me go back to the rules of improvisation because that ties back to what I was just about to say. There's 3 rules of improvisation. The principal rule of improv is yes and. Yes and is agree and then build on what's been established. That's what yes and means. If I say the sun is shining and then a person in the scene, well, I see Leilani Barrett is here. Leilani, will you unmute? Are you still there? Or Leilani, did you pop in and jump out? There you are. You turned off your camera. You didn't expect. There you are. Hey, Leilani. I know Leilani from Second City, Cleveland, and from Kalmanson's. Leilani, if will you play a brief bad improv with me real quick? I see your mic on, but I can't hear you. I'm sorry. While Leilani is figuring out his tech.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you are.
I had to fade her down to nothing.
Perfect. So if Leilani says, so to demonstrate yes and, if I say the sky is blue, Leilani would say,
no, it isn't.
Okay, good. So that right there was not a yes and. In fact, that was a denial. He just denied the reality that I established. So now show me a yes without the and, Leilani. Hey, did you notice that the sky is blue?
Yes, it is blue.
And now the reason why we say yes and is he's just yesed me. We're in agreement that the sky is blue, but where do we go from there? Then nowhere. Like there we are, just stuck in agreement. The idea is to add on, say agree, and then add on more. That will allow me to agree to what Leilani's established and build on from there. So if I say the sky is blue.
Yes, it is, and it's full of beautiful fluffy clouds.
Yes, and those clouds are so glorious. They remind me of cotton candy.
Oh, yeah, I love eating cotton candy and getting it all over my face.
Yes, and the last time you got it all over your face was at the state fair. And I haven't been to a state fair since they shut everything down because of the disease. You get the idea. It took a dark turn, but most things take dark turns in 2020. But you get the idea. By finding agreement and then adding on, we're able to build the scene and take it into places where if he just says yes, we never get to the state fair. We never get to fluffy clouds. We never get anywhere. It's all on me. He demonstrated also the denial. If you say no to something, it just stops everything from moving forward. Except the sky is so far from blue. Yes, it's true. Thank you. So, the third rule of improvisation, those are the 2, yes and, do not deny. And then the third rule is try to avoid asking questions. And the reason is, Leilani, I'm going to use you one more time. Hey, did you notice that, hey, the sky is blue?
Why is it blue?
Well, because now all of a sudden, what my partner has done has made me continue to build rather than to add on his uniqueness. So you try to avoid asking questions. Again, these are general rules. You'll see improvisation that's brilliant, that breaks all those rules from time to time, but it just really helps you. If you imagine improv is a gigantic, massive pasture with grass all over the place, these rules are like electronic fences on the far edge to keep you from running away from the pasture. All right, so I've given you the basic rules of improvisation. You'll see how they apply as we dive in a little bit deeper. But I want to come back to what I mentioned earlier about Dr. Don Green. I'm going to throw this into the chat. He has a website called winningonstage.com. I found him he's a performance coach and he works predominantly with musicians and athletes, but I found that his practice really helps me as a voice actor as well. So I recommend checking out his work. One of the things that he talks about is confidence. It's a major thing. In fact, I believe confidence is the energy that drives this city. And as someone who has to self-direct, confidence is one of the things that I am constantly undermining myself. You know what I mean? Like if you've got negative self-talk in the way, that can completely undercut all the process that you're trying to build for yourself. So what I want to start off with this exercise, and we'll get to the point of finding your self-coach through this. So let's start off by, if you're in a comfortable, safe place where you can close your eyes. If you're driving, imagine this, or visit the YouTube link after, so you don't have to worry about that. But I want to start by just placing your feet firmly on the floor, getting yourself in a comfortable posture, comfortable space. Relax your back, no effort. And bring your gaze to about 45 degrees down from where you're sitting. Right now, it's on the abnormally large touchpad on my Dell laptop. And as you're looking at that, whatever that point of focus is, I want you to choose a specific intention for this webinar, for this workout. For our purposes, if you don't have one offhand, I'll give you one, which is just to have fun and to learn something about yourself. Have that intention. Have a good time. Learn something about yourself, about myself. Good. Bring your head back up, close your eyes, and just breathe. And just don't think about how you're breathing, just breathe normally. Breathe deeply in and exhale. Breathe deeply in and out. Deeply in and out. Awesome. In this next series of 3 breaths, I want you to look for tension in your face. In your first breath, draw in and look, before you exhale, find any tension in your face, in your neck, and breathe that tension out. Next breath in, scan your shoulders and your upper chest. Look for any tension that exists up there. And let it go on your exhale. Third breath, take it down into your core, down into your stomach and your chest and your whole area. See if you can find any tension that remains and breathe it out. Awesome. This next series of 3 breaths, I want you to focus your breath on breathing in your nose down to your stomach. I want you to take your hand, put your hand about 2 inches below your navel and 2 inches in. That's your core. That's the center of you. I want you to breathe to that point. Think of it like a little glowing star right in the center of you. Breathe to that. Exhale. Stay relaxed. Visualize that point. Awesome, great. Now that we've identified it, we're going to send our mind there over the course of 3 breaths, leaving your forehead where your mind might feel, and imagining that as you breathe, that it rides an elevator or slips down the back of your spine, down your body over the course of 3 breaths, to send your presence and awareness to that point. Get out of your head and into your body. Breathing in. Now. One more time, breathing down to that point. Sending yourself there. Great. I want you to visualize. I want you just to be there. Keep your consciousness at that place, 2 inches below your navel, 2 inches in, just in your center, and just breathe to it. Awesome. While you're there, now I want you to visualize your intention, having fun. I want you to visualize having a great time, laughing, making discoveries. Visualize the successful accomplishment of your goal in the successful accomplishment of this intention over the course of the next 3 breaths. Just visualize it, live in that space. Down there in your core at that point. Excellent. Over the course of the next 3 breaths, you're going to leave that part of your body and come back up to your forehead. Take your time over the course of 3 breaths. Slowly moving back up. Excellent. You are now centered. You found yourself in your right brain and you're ready to create. Awesome. It's called Don Green's centering exercise. Once I see everyone's eyes are back open, we'll reconnect. Awesome. What did you discover? Anybody? Feel free. Does anyone have any, like, what was that experience like? Was it effective? What did you discover? How do you feel now versus how you felt before we did that exercise? Go ahead, unmute, share your feelings.
I discovered unmitigated chaos.
Oh, good. Chris, can you describe that chaos? I understand unmitigated. What was the nature of the chaos that you experienced?
It was just, I want to say miasma, but that's more olfactory than anything else. It's just a swirling mass of just everything that makes up me. Just, at some points over here, there's a laugh. At some points over here, there's some sadness. There's a bit of rage in front of me because, well, and
yeah.
Behind me, there's fear, there's doubt over there in the corner,
Where did you find that? Was it in your core? Is that where you found it? Or is that just in your head or all over?
It was, the best answer to that is yes. Aspects of it are already up here, but there's just the swirling mass of it right there in the core.
Gotcha. That's a great discovery. It's valuable to be able to identify it and say that's what I'm feeling. Great, excellent. Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Donald.
I felt normally my mind likes to hold on to expectations of like especially when I'm walking into something that I don't know quite what it is. So I felt myself slowly, just even if not fully, at least slightly letting go of expectations and just accepting what was there in the moment, like even if it was uncomfortable. Yeah.
Great. Oh, great, man. Awesome. Excellent. Thank you for that. Yeah, Jamie, I saw you unmute, and Sierra. Let me go with Sierra first, and then Jamie, I'll come to you.
Well, I always think of as an actor like what I should be in any situation, whether it's an audition or a networking event or whatever. It's like, well, what should I be at this point? What should I be with this group? And doing the breathing exercise and really just being like, no, this is what I am, and this is all the tools that I need right here. There was more of an acceptance of just everything about me. That's the thought that went through my head. And I'm technically a very mental person, so it was nice to be like, oh yeah, there is you can travel between these two. That was also another thought.
Fantastic. That really the transformative part of this for me, what made me such a believer in it, is that transformative part of leaving here and going there and still being fully in me, but like having a different perspective and a different feeling and an emotional life, and then being able to have clarity up here to relax and just perform. That's great. Thank you for that, Sierra. Awesome. Jamie.
I felt kind of the 3 breaths with each breath. The first one, as you're releasing from the face, that felt the hardest, where you're just like, that's where I was holding on the most. And then as each subsequent breath went, it just sort of fell in. And then once we were down in the center, I just felt really lost in there and just really comfortable and safe and sort of enveloped in myself and really just embodying like, oh yeah, I'm just sitting here, like no need to add anything on top of anything, no need to project anything out, just being really comfortable being, basically.
Awesome. Oh, that's great, man. Fantastic. Yeah, that's it. Like, it's about that, being in that space, and then I think it's really important too to connect to the positive visualization within that space of visualizing yourself doing it, just doing this one simple task in a positive way. You know what I mean? Like, successfully. But, you know, I mean, Chris was mentioning the chaos inside, and like, okay, there's enough chaos outside. Like, if I don't believe in myself, who will? And to be able to find a place or a way to be able to give yourself positive affirmation so that you can move forward. And it's not to falsely delude yourself. It's not to give yourself false hope or any of those other things. It's rooted in your skill. It's rooted in how long you've pursued this work. It's rooted in your ability to connect to the copy, all those things. But so why not have a positive attitude about it, and that how that can transform and make your reads come alive and get you out of your head and into your body so that you can set yourself free. Awesome, great. Thank you guys for your comments. Those are awesome. Let me go to our next exercise. So in this next exercise, I want you to this is a sitting quietly and listening and thinking exercise, which is very easy to do in this context. But it's a Viola Spolin exercise, and it's called the side coach. And so I'm going to talk you through it. I want you to silently tell yourself to do the following things. So go ahead and get yourself back into that comfortable spot where you were sitting, feet beneath you. Sitting up, you can close your eyes and relax. And I'm going to give you the following direction, and I just want you to follow it. Here we go. Feel yourself sitting in the chair. Feel the space around you. Now let the space feel you. Roll your head around. Let the weight of your head do the moving. Shoulders at ease. You stay out of it. Let your head roll to the left and move your eyes to the left as far as you can. Send your sight even farther left. Now roll your head to the right. Move your sight as far right as possible. Now return your head to center. Drop your head forward on your chest, moving your eyes downward with your head. Now raise your head and let your sight roll back with your head as far as possible. Send your sight back even farther. Then return your gaze to center. Great. Once you've done that, you can open your eyes. And we're going to do that exercise one more time. But this time, I'm not going to say a word. I want you to give yourself that same direction internally, without speaking out loud. trust that you remember everything that I told you. Your body certainly remembers it. So just let your mind tell you that simple instruction of what to do next. And then when I'll know you're all back when your eyes are back open. Take your time. Same tempo we did it. Just repeat the exercise whenever you're ready. Awesome. Great work. What did you discover from that exercise? Anybody?
I have more of a sense of my periphery.
Great. Can you expand on that, Rebecca? What do you mean? Like you discovered or had that awareness?
Yeah, like I can feel the space, not just what I'm looking at straight ahead, but I can just kind of feel the space behind me and all around. And I can also, like, I'm looking straight ahead right now, but I still have a sense, like I can almost see a little sideways, like a little
Awesome.
80 degrees kind of.
Amazing. So to have that, and I see Jeff Burns yes-anding that. So like that awareness of, oh, I can, if I widen my gaze, I can perceive it in a way that I'm not necessarily always doing. Great. Awesome. Excellent. What else? Anyone else?
Apparently I have x-ray vision when I do it. There's just an awareness of like my room, the dog walking area, just the far corners of my kitchen, and then like the stairs that are behind this wall that I'm familiar exist, but apparently I can see them.
That's awesome, Rod. Fantastic. Excellent. Anyone else?
Yeah, I feel for me it's almost like a projection of your inner energy out into the world.
Awesome.
So it's a way to sort of tap into the energy and use it.
That's so great, Shelley. Absolutely. Fantastic. Sweet. Let me ask this question. Did anyone hear a quiet voice talking you through it? Or not even necessarily a specific voice, but a thing just being like, okay, turn your head and not do this, not do that. So if you didn't, what was telling you where to go?
I found that I'm second guessing everything, and it's like I know what to do, but I have this inner thought telling me that I'm doing it wrong.
Charlie, that's great. That's great. That's 100% like our self-coach, the voice inside that goes, turn to the right, turn to the left, simple, basic instructions. The difference between, um, I don't want to disparage directors. I love directors. I am a director, but I feel like a director sits in judgment of a thing. You know, like, let's do a scene, and you watch the scene, and the scene is done, and the director goes, that's great, I have a few notes, let's try this, and this, and tweak this. There's no judgment on that. But the difference between a coach is, good, stay focused, stay on target, try this move, good, that's it. A coach is real-time adjustment. A coach is in that moment helping you stay balanced, keeping you supported, whereas a director is Monday morning quarterbacking. So the goal with this exercise is to remove judgment from it and set yourself free from I'm doing it wrong. And in a group setting like this, where you've got a bunch of eyeballs on you, and some people are like, a couple folks were like, I've been done. And they're watching Donald go, and to my left, you know? And it's like, no, you're not doing it wrong. You're fine. There is no right or there's no wrong. That's kind of the point. It's all personal process. And that's what's beautiful. And it's becoming aware. And first of all, Charlie, the fact that you identified that voice as the one telling you that what you're doing is wrong is a massive win. Now you know to tune that particular voice out, because that voice isn't supporting you and helping you get what you need. Maybe that voice will help you when you're editing your files together. Absolutely. There's certainly a point. There's a purpose for that voice of discretion that keeps you from sending 25 takes. You know what I mean? But when you're in the creating process, that voice, you're editing before you're done creating. And it's about letting yourself be free to invent and take risks and make mistakes and be free. So that voice that I was asking about is the kind of the beginnings of that heightening your awareness of your self-coach, of that voice telling you what to do next and what to do next, and separating that from the judgment. Does that make sense? Let's do another exercise that will kind of play. And if you didn't hear that voice, that's fine. It's not like, it's not like we're standing here in Field of Dreams and some people are hearing, if you build it, he will come. And others are like, I'm Timothy Busfield going, I don't see Shoeless Joe Jackson. Okay. So let's go to this next exercise. This is called Playground. So what I want you to do is give yourself a comfortable space to create a physical environment. You do not have to be on camera for me. This is for you. If you're in a booth and you need to slide outside your booth to have space, that's fine. I just want to make sure that you can hear, because I'm going to give a little bit of direction. If you're playing in a limited space, it doesn't need to be, you don't need a football field in your room. But what we're going to do is we're going to go, oh, that's great. I'm seeing a couple comments here. But I'll come back to those. That was terrific. Thank you, Sierra, and thank you, Leilani. That's awesome. So this exercise, I want you to choose a simple, fun playground activity. We're at a playground. Right now, that's, and this is yes and. Yes, we're at a playground. So I want you to give yourself physical space. I'm going to tilt my camera up so you can see, but like, I love baseball, so I'm going to imagine that I have a mitt on my hand, and I got a ball in there, and I'm just playing catch with myself. So everyone, choose an activity of any kind and step into that environment. And I'm going to side coach you. I just want you to play. Make it real for yourself. What does it smell like where you are? All these questions I'm going to answer for yourself. Answer in your head. What do you smell? What time of day is it? Who are you with? What's the weight of the object you're holding? Play. Make it real for yourself. What are you wearing? What do you taste? What are the textures of the objects that you're holding? If you're holding an object, go ahead and take a moment and feel its weight. If you notice its texture. You might make a choice and then question it. Don't question it. Whatever the choice is, your first choice is right. Trust it. Even if it doesn't seem to make sense, don't judge it. Set yourself free from that. Play. It's a playground. Who are you with? What are they wearing? What are you wearing? Feel it. Make it real. I want you to continue this exercise, but I want you to ask yourself those questions and answer them in your mind. Stay specific. Keep playing your activity, but you hear me modeling for you how to ask these questions for yourself. Continue to do it. Slowly, at your own pace, we return to our common space that we've created together. Return to your microphones and cameras. Let the space that you were just at melt away and reset. Put a bookmark so you can go back to it anytime. These folks are back. Sweet. What did you experience? What'd you discover? Is it real? Yeah, Donald.
I wanted to change my first instincts, but then I kept with it, which was an interesting feeling because after that I was like, yeah, I kind of like my first choice about who I'm with and what they're wearing.
Yeah,
good. As opposed to being like, maybe that's too, this or that. Yeah.
Dude, the beautiful thing about that is like that's two takes.
Yeah.
Like your first take is your first impulse, and then do a second take where it's like completely different people wearing completely different clothes. Your intention is going to change. But like a lot of times I know personally, I feel like if I don't just commit to the choice that's made without judging it, it'll lead me into a place of indecision. And then my read ends up sounding wishy-washy because I don't make a strong choice. They're choices. There's no judgment on them. That's the advantage of performing at Second City for as many years as I did, is it taught me that improv is disposable and that these choices are not precious. They are completely, I have no control over who they're going to choose. All I have control over is what's the strongest me. You know what I mean? So by, just committing and seeing where it leads you and then edit after. But like you can't go anywhere, you can't move anything forward if you stop yourself by making judgments when you're supposed to be just sketching, Awesome. Terrific. Others?
Yeah, what I thought was really interesting was my activity. I started out at a very enjoyable solo activity that I was doing, and I was getting the whole atmosphere. But then a friend came and joined me in the activity, and then I saw the increase in energy and how much more enjoyment I was having sharing this experience with my
Amazing.
friend.
Oh, that's so awesome, Lori. What a great discovery. That's amazing. I was doing an improv workshop over the weekend, and for whatever reason, I put us all in the same boat. We were all in the same environment together, paddling together, and people got like choked up because we haven't been together. And it was really powerful moment. And like, it's amazing how much energy another character that you bring in can give you, and how that completely changes your demeanor, your energy, how you connect to your own activity and to everything else. Oh, that's awesome. What an amazing observation. Fantastic. Alicia, I saw that you had unmuted.
Yeah, so I found that the more that I continued with the activity and the more sensory details that I filled in, the more fun I had and the more freedom I had. And it was just, I couldn't help myself from smiling. It was just like, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It's so valuable to like just surrender and play and let yourself feel the emotions of the thing. And then and it comes through. The mic captures that, the camera captures that. All those details that you're just building for yourself are super valuable. Awesome. Well, that's great. That's great. Anyone else?
I'll do one.
Great. I saw Sierra and then Jamie. Go ahead, Sierra.
I was playing basketball, and I usually suck at basketball, so it was fun to kind of imagine, oh, I'm pretty good at this. Yeah, I know how to bounce this ball. So there was a little bit of like fantasy role playing that I hadn't had before.
That's awesome. Good. Why not? Why suck in your imagination? That's fantastic. Excellent. Excellent. Jamie.
I was just surprised at how specific all of my choices ended up being without trying. Like, I was on the monkey bars, and then immediately with everything you were saying, I was like, oh no, these are the red ones. These are the ones I used to be on at school. Oh right, yeah, I'm in my school uniform. Of course I am, because that's what I would wear on the monkey bars. Oh, yeah, and this guy's here because that's who we always play on them at this time, so it's this temperature, and it all just was immediately like, not even having to make those decisions. Just, oh yeah, it just came to me.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great, man. That it just when you allow yourself that freedom and to get specific, even if you are already specific, it's kind of like it just locks it into place and it lets you play and feel more, you know?
More and more details just start popping up like, oh yeah, of course it's like this. Yeah, like, yeah, this is the way it feels. This is what I'm seeing. Yeah.
That's awesome. Did anyone like see details emerge that they didn't think they would notice? Awesome.
For me, it would be different facets. When I was playing myself, it transformed, evolved, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. It's like I would swap between different bodies, like different personas. Like at one point, it would be like between like a foot soldier, and I used to play a lot of D&D. Well, I still do, and it became a paladin, and like it spoke to me in a voice, and it performed certain actions that I would try to mimic. It would be like, to me, my friends, victory and glory. And then it would swap to the enemy that it would go towards. It'd be something like a skeleton and grow farther towards like the huge, big, bad, evil guy. It would be, let their corpse be part of my throne. Yes. So it was just different things playing and different characters and personas that existed that just started growing.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. I mean, to jump through that playground and to experience all those different characters and find vocalization for them and the detail that comes out of those, you know, in the role-playing world, certainly that like detail makes all that stuff just comes even so much more alive, you know? Oh, that's awesome, dude. Fantastic. Sweet. Great. I want to do one other exercise with you guys, and we're gonna go on a canoe trip. So I'm just going to take you on a sensory journey. Oh, great. That's awesome. I just noticed Charlie's comment about that she could smell strawberries, which was, yeah, yes. When you allow yourself to feel the environment and the specificity of it, you can't hold it back. These things just come flooding in, and it might be intentional, but once you open up the freedom to receive all those, your mind wants to fill those details in and wants to be free to create. So here's what I want to give you. I'm going to give you 3 different environments. I want you, after that, I want you to create 2 more. I'll side coach you through all this stuff. But to reiterate the idea of your side coach, the voice inside you, I want you to find that voice by repeating to yourself what I say out loud. Doesn't need to be my voice. Make whatever voice you want. It's kind of like whatever. You do you. Like, create the voice that helps you. What do you want your side coach to sound like? But echo the direction I give you and let that voice respond back, or not respond, but repeat, so that you get in the habit of listening to yourself giving you these notes rather than coming from me. Does that make sense? My goal is to set you free from having to have another coach. I want you to build your own coach. You know what you're doing. No problem. Burns is out. But thanks. I got your note, brother. Thanks for dropping by, man. All right. So we're going to start off by, seated, feet on the ground. Go ahead. And I want you to imagine that you're in the space that you're in, but slowly and at your own pace, you're in a canoe. And for our purposes, it's going to be like a kayak. It's a solo kayak. It's just you. What color is it? More importantly, where are we? In a river. A slowly moving river. Maybe it's the Colorado River, and we're slowly paddling at night through the Grand Canyon. What colors do you see? Where is the light source? What do you hear? What do you smell? How much resistance do you apply to the paddle? What's the temperature? How do you feel in this space? Why are you here by yourself? Feel the space. Feel the temperature. All the senses. Let the space feel you. Slowly and at your own pace, the space transforms again. This time, You're canoeing through a bayou. What do you smell? Maybe it's 2:30 in the afternoon. What temperature is it? What are you wearing? What do you hear? What's in the water with you? How deep does the water appear to be? Slowly at your own pace, the space transforms once again. You're now canoeing in the Arctic. What's the water like? What are you wearing? What does your face feel like? How do your hands feel? What do you smell? What do you hear? Slowly at your own pace, you choose where you go next. What is your next environment? Be specific. Coach yourself to add more specificity. What do you smell? What are you wearing? How does this environment make you feel? See it. Trust your impulses. Excellent. Put a bookmark on what that feels like. Transform to one more environment. Make a choice that's radically different from the one you just went on. What do you smell? What do you hear? How do your muscles feel? Slowly and at your own pace, that space fades away and you return to our virtual classroom. Awesome. Great work. Before I forget, I'm going to get feedback real quick, but I want to share with you that I'm going to be teaching a 3-week class for the help through the help network, and that will be in November. Yes, and we've just posted the link, and it will be building on the work that we've done here, and all that. It's 3-hour classes, 3-hour classes, and it's $150, which is for the whole 3-week class. So hope it's something you would consider participating, because it'd be super fun to keep working with you. Awesome. Does anyone have any feedback? What did you discover from that exercise?
I incorporated there were sounds happening in the world around me. So instead of trying to block them out, I allowed it to be incorporated in the environment that I created.
Yeah, what an amazing gift. That's amazing. Like, excellent, Rebecca. Like, embrace that stuff, use it. It's a gift that's happening in the moment that can inform choices that you make. That's terrific. Excellent. Anyone else?
I felt with every different scenario, my body changed. I sat up straighter, like, because I was cold, or I kind of relaxed because it was warm. And if there was a place that I hadn't been to, for example, the bayou, I just made it up. I was like, all right, I think this is what a bayou would be like, so that's what we're going with. And I did start to smell things, and it was just, I just transformed along with the place I was in.
Fantastic. Oh, that's great, Alicia. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Excellent. Anyone else?
For me, when it came to the last two that we made, I heard a voice to say, "You've been here before," and it was through a dark canal, through an old ruined place, and I saw like different buildings of like hot springs. I could smell the food, and when I saw the creatures bumbling by, offering me food or swimming with me, it was from an old film that I watched called Spirited Away. And then from there, it ousted me into like the sky, into the heavens, where I saw and felt different elements of smells. And I was canoeing on a river of 9 colors, and I saw dragons and phoenixes just roaring into the sky.
I was canoeing through quicksand, Larry. I want your imagination. Damn, dude. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So great. Excellent. Anyone else? Yeah, right.
For me, I realized the emotional sensations I was feeling. Like I was at peace in the canoe, and then once we got to the bayou, I was definitely concerned. And then by the last scene, it was I felt powerful. Admittedly, I was wearing leather armor and had a sword strapped to my waist, but I definitely felt the weight of the sword.
That's great.
But it was like just the emotional journey at each different one. Don't put me in a bayou again, please.
Absolutely. Dude, that's it. Like, just being able to, set yourself free to play in the emotional space, and letting your coach allow you to pop in and just help you guide and validate those choices, and let you wear leather armor and strap on a sword, or let you canoe through a 9-color river. Like, oh, dude, that's what this is about. That's what all of this is about, is playing and giving ourselves the freedom to play and reconnecting to that play. And even if it's a commercial for, some healthcare provider, like, why not utilize our imaginations to bring that emotional truth that you're talking about, Ryan, that you're experiencing, to that copy. It doesn't need to be aligned to imagining that you're walking the halls of the Cleveland Clinic to go deliver some bad news to a family. Like, what's the emotional truth of that? Maybe it's canoeing through a bayou will put you into that space of fear and concern. but determined. And all of a sudden, by using those spaces to inform and using your truth and the things that speak to you to inform the choices that you make in copy that doesn't necessarily align to that, but gives you the freedom and encouragement to do it. And it's about practicing, flexing those muscles and building your strength in your imagination and giving and not doubting those choices, making a strong choice and committing to it, and that gift that gives you. Sierra, I see that you've unmuted. Do you have something you'd like to share?
Yeah, well, just like Rye, I definitely had an opinion about all the locations. Like, I did not want to get those mosquitoes on me and like in the bayou, and it was hot, and I was like, get me out of there. How do I get out of here, this place? That was my thing. And the other one was when we went to our first choice, I suddenly went to like a water park, and suddenly my canoe was like in a man-made kind of play, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of silly. How did I get here when I was in natural areas before? But okay, I'll figure this out. Now I smell cotton candy and hear children scream, and it was just and smelled chlorine as opposed to anything natural. So it was just, oh, okay. It was weird.
That's so awesome. Oh, that's great. That's great. Lori, I see that you've unmuted. What would you like to add?
Yeah, what I thought was really odd is through most of them, it was some version of me, younger me, older me, or whatever. But in the Arctic, I turned into a man with a full beard, like I was a scientist. And what was cool was I didn't say like, oh, you can't be a man that's just got a beard, you know.
Yeah.
That's just who I was in the Arctic. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's so awesome. Oh, that's great. Thank you, Lori. Fantastic. Ed, I see that you've unmuted.
Yeah, the bayou is really easy for me because I live right here in Tampa Bay, and we do actually go kayaking, like the little mangrove trails and on the bayou.
Oh.
The one thing that struck me is when you moved into the Arctic area, you know, it's the same motions and everything like that, but I'm thinking Arctic, and I was just curious about the water temperature. So I actually physically like moved my hand down to feel the water temperature, which triggered in the back of my mind the instant thought. I recoiled my hand and I'm like, why am I on the water in the Arctic and I'm not wearing gloves?
That's great. Excellent. That's so great, man. Yeah, you got your clothes wet. Nice going, Ed. Yeah, now you've soaked your mittens, and now you're in trouble, man. There's
My
no
mittens.
way to your mittens. Why am I wearing mittens in the Arctic? I really should be wearing neoprene. Leilani.
It's funny because you said kayaking. My first experience in what I call trying to do what white people do, and I went kayaking in Monterey Bay.
Oh,
and,
man.
Nearly died, but that's another story. But the experience of being out in the bay was amazing, and then like almost reliving that memory. And then when we went to the Arctic, I felt like I was Matthew Henson. Like, you know, I just saw myself with like a mustache and the big like Han Solo woolly furry, you know, thing. And I was like, wow, it was really cool. It was cool to just re-experience those memories and remember how strong my sense memory is.
Fantastic. Oh, dude, thank you for sharing that. That's awesome. Guys, our time has come to a close. I do wanted to provide the opportunity to have a brief Q&A. I've got an audition I got to jump to shortly, but if anyone has any questions, and I do like direct you to, I'd love to have you join me for this class in November. You know, Help Network is pricing stuff at an affordable rate, and that's why I wanted to work with them. And I think it's about, you know, helping each other and get, you know, continue to strengthen our craft. And I've learned so much from so many other sources. And if I can share my experience with you, that's all I really hope to do. But you can, if you have any questions that you have for me, or you want to hit up, you can either email Help Network, Julian at helpnetwork.com, right, Julian? Yeah, there it is. It's in the chat there, Julian at helpnet.com for all questions. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at KiffVH, KIFFVH. My website is kiffvh.com, and there's also, you can reach out to me through there. And my podcast is called All Over Voiceover. And if you're interested in interviews with agents, actors, casting directors, managers, that podcast is what it's all about. And you can find that at allovervo.com or wherever your favorite podcasts might be housed. But there's the plugs. Does anyone have any quick questions for me at all, or feedback or anything like that? It's always helpful. And not excellent. Well, it is my pleasure. Thank you so much that you guys took time out of your busy days to play here. Donald, I just saw you unmute. Did you have something?
I just wanted to say thank you. This was great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah, my pleasure, guys. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Couldn't have happened.
Kiff. Good to
Otherwise,
see
I'd
you.
just be sitting in a room talking to myself, which is normally what I do. But this is way more fun. And thank you to the Help Network for making this happen. And if you want to revisit any of the stuff or any of these exercises, go ahead and play it back and do the exercises to it. It's available. It'll be on the YouTube page. All right. Awesome. Peace, you guys. Have a great one. Take care.